And I'll record this on here.
Recording in progress.
Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So this session, this series, I'll take this off. We're looking at the 6 treasures of the Bujinkan according to Hatsumi Sensei. And to give a framework of what we're going to be looking at and how we're going to be doing this whole seminar series and really understanding where my training has come from is Soke one day sitting at Hombu said, you know, we have 6 treasures of the Bujinkan, and he listed them off: control, Muto Dori, Sanshin, Kion Happo, women's self-defense, and then the community of the Bujinkan at large networking together. And he didn't like, it wasn't like one of his yearly themes where he's talking about it throughout the whole year. It was something happening in that moment. He was thinking about it, but all of these pieces, control, Muto Dori, Sanshin, Kion Happo, women's self-defense, and the community thing was added on at the end, but he talks about all of these individually or a couple or 3 of them together at the same time. And so if you just were at that one class and you wrote down that there, you would understand the deeper significance of what he said. So I will tell you real quick, and then we can get into some movement so you see how it all ties together. What Soke said every time was, we're working on control through Muto Dori. Control through Muto Dori. And he said, Muto Dori is deception. So like 5 years, Soke is just, that's all he was talking about. Control through Muto Dori. Control through Muto Dori. Muto Dori is deception. Kyojitsu is his words. Muto Dori is the Kyojitsu. The Kyojitsu. And if you understand that it's the Kyojitsu is deception, and he said, and the deception is the foundation of all martial arts. Deception is the foundation of all martial arts. So this way of controlling means you have to use this Kyojitsu, this truth and falsehood interplay, changing, winding in a way that lets you control the situation, whatever the situation is. So he talked in depth about that. So control through Muto Dori. Then we go, okay, well, what is this weird Muto Dori? Well, whatever it is, whatever you're doing, it is deception. It means you can't be read and easily understood and controlled by your opponent. So then we get into, okay, he was at another class where he said, you know, we have Sanshin and Kion Happo. And if you think about Sanshin is number 1 and Kion Happo is number 2, he said Muto Dori is 0. Muto Dori is 0, meaning it's before Sanshin, it's before Kion Happo. It's the thing that is embedded in your Sanshin. So most people understand the Sanshin and the Bujinkan to be the basic movement. And if we look at the basic movement of Sanshin, which is Chi no Kata, if we look at that, then we say, like, okay, well, people think of Chi no Kata and they do something that looks like this, and they go, it's like, okay, if that's your basic, where do we use that in all the wazas that we got? In the 1,000 techniques from all the schools, where's that move? Where's that move? Where was Soke? When you're watching Soke for the last 4 decades, where's that move? Where is he doing that? And then you have to start thinking and being honest with yourself and realize, that's not something that gets done. You know, again, random person will do it, and it's a less than 1%, maybe a 0.00001% of the time you might see something like that, but it's almost never. Until we start to look at Sanshin through a different lens, which is how we do our Sanshin, how we do our Chi no Kata has to be done in a way that can't be read by the other person and gives us Muto Dori. So your Sanshin is how you move from Muto Dori. This is very, very important. Okay? Once you understand that, it's control through Muto Dori, which is deception, which is how you move the Sanshin. Your Sanshin has the Muto Dori embedded in it. It comes from the Muto Dori. Remember, 0, 1. And then Once you've gone from 0 to 1, now you can start to make techniques we call Kihon Happo. And the movement of Muto Dori and Sanshin is the movement of the Kihon Happo. So how you get to do Kihon Happo has to be control through Muto Dori. So this is layered like this. Control through Muto Dori, which is your Sanshin, which then lets you do Kihon Happo. So the Kihon Happo, as we understand, is like these basic, these fundamental 8 ways. Fundamental. And that doesn't mean it's the only moves that we have. Like we can't only do an omote gyaku. It means the essential pieces of control of our martial art. How you get to each of those things is distance and timing and perception of the other person and the rhythm. All these things together make your Kihon Happo. What's important about your Kihon Happo. Once you do that, then you have to start to look at like the high level is this Josei no Goshinjitsu, women's self-defense. So if you think, okay, my Kihon Happo is good, as Soke said over and over again, then you have to ask yourself the question, fine, can this big strong guy teach a little 100-pound, a 45-kilo woman to put Kihon Happo on him when he's resisting? Can that happen? Is the way that you're doing your martial art going to be sufficient that a small, not powerful person can still do it on a big, strong, powerful person? Because if you're just doing it in a way that you're a big, strong, powerful person so you can enforce your will, then you don't understand this idea of the women's self-defense. So this is what we have to understand. Okay, then that means that you've got to go back to the beginning of control and say, all right, am I doing my Muto Dori in a way that a child can do it, or a woman can do it, or a person who's injured or old can do it? That's the meaning of this women's self-defense. Am I doing my Kihon Happo in this way? So this is, you have to keep going back and readdressing your basics to make sure that this becomes a thing that you can do. And then, if you think you got it, we get to the 6th and final phase, which is this Bujinkan community, or getting together and networking and being like, hey, Chris, you're working on your stuff, I'm working on my stuff, Philip's working on his stuff. Check this out, I'm doing this. Can you give me feedback? Can you try and show me where it's wrong? Or can you give me feedback, be like, hey, that's great, how can we make it better? This is the networking of the Bujinkan community. So adding these things all together, super duper important. So understand, it's control through Muto Dori, which is deception, propaganda, whatever you want to call it, that we then embed in our Sanshin, which means you probably didn't do this already. No one there did. So you've got to go back and look at your Sanshin and make sure that you're embedding it. And then once you have the basic movement of our martial art, you apply that to your Kihon Happo in a way that you can get Kihon Happo on the other person, even though they're resisting you. Because remember, they don't understand what you're doing. Then you make sure that everyone, size doesn't matter, strength doesn't matter, can still do those Kihon Happo and other martial arts stuff, other things. And once you do that, you want to make sure, because you may be fooling yourself, you may be fooling your students. You got to get together with your peers. That's a community. Get together with your peers and test it out. Okay, so these are the 6 treasures of the Bujinkan in more detail. So now let's just get to the meat of the thing, which is this. Chi no kata. There, just step over there a minute, right, so they can see this. So if you stand there a minute, Chris, right, you're looking at me. So Chi no kata is basically this. If we're here, if we use this starting point, okay, could be this starting point, whatever, this hand goes shoom, out like this, because it's mimicking a spear thrust, which is why you have a 3-fingered fist like this, which is why we do this. It mimics a spear thrust, and it goes shoom. And see how my foot comes afterwards? So if this is just a punch, it goes like this. Punch. And then my foot comes afterwards. Once you start to understand that, that's the basic. So this hand is up here guarding, doing something, and then this hand goes shoop out like this. The the time that his visual perception can understand this, can you shut that door, is very low. So here, it's already out there. And notice this forward tilt of the body. Again, going back to the Totoku Hyoshi shape, if you are studying this with the people who practice this a long time with Soke, you'll start to see it's boom, and then this follows through. It doesn't go simultaneous. That's too late. If I go, like, he's already blocking and out of the way. So it has to be done in a way that deceives. So if I'm here, he's thinking back here, and it goes boom, so it's already out there. That's the basic. That's chi no kata, which is sanshin. Now don't confuse gogyo, chi si kafu ku. Those other ones are variations. The gogyo is the variation of chi no kata, which is the sanshin. Okay. Now, when Soke is talking about this, he's talking about these. You can see some videos with him talking about it. He's like, it's a ni lina movement, meaning this goes whoop, and then you're falling in behind it. That's the fundamental piece. Where else do we see this? We see it with sword work that Soke was doing. Okay, so I'm gonna have Chris hold this, and he can be, we got short swords just because we're in a smaller space, right? If you think about chi no kata, put the sword in the hand, comes down here, in this to sui. So we've looked at this to sui before, this is Soke. So now I'm gonna do chi no kata with the sword, which looks like this. It's back here, it's here, and when he thinks he's gonna do, whoop, it shoots up like that. So just point your sword at me and then raise it up. So you guys, we've done this drill before, and this is what we're gonna do now. Okay, and I'm coming up in here. So if you see from this angle, it looks like this. This tip goes pop, and it's aimed at the person, and it just pushes forward, boop. You fall into place like this. Now when you're in place, you're gonna be twisting, of course, to match where the sword is. But the fundamental movement is it goes tip up with there's no telegraphing with my upper body. I'm not doing this. You can see that. It goes boom and out. So watch, it's here. So from the side, it's boom, like that. Not like this. This is gonna be slow and big telegraph. Okay, I'm here, I'm already tilted forward, nothing changes. This pops up, shoots out, boom, like that. And then it's like the sword is pulling me forward. This goes shoomp. Okay, that's the chi no kata movement with the sword, starting from to sui. So that's our first basic archetype movement for almost everything that we're going to do. Understanding this control through Muto Dori. Okay, so let's practice this move. This is the first move. Starting to sui, flip the tip up, jam it forward, boom. There's your chi no kata with the sword, your basic movement, sanshin, that has the Muto Dori embedded in it. Okay, try that one. All right, guys, want to give that a shot too? Hey, Dom.
Like some kind of alarm.
Where? Is it your alarm? You said it had 81%, right? Yeah, you're fine.
Yeah, but it turned like the alarm. Like,
Yeah, it's to tell you that you got to do wukong.
oh. I just do it.
Did you turn it off?
You mean the alarm?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there you go. Here.
Paul, can you mute? Can you mute? Thank you.
Okay, sorry. No, you're gonna.
Sword tip first, guys, not your foot. Chris. Okay, I think you guys are kind of doing this. So, can I borrow this? Think about something. In this movement, this is the fundamental movement. Then there will be different rhythms and different speeds that you can do this. So let's just say that Philip is there with his sword, and I'm Hatsumi Sensei, and I'm gonna give him an attack like Hatsumi Sensei would do. So Soke would do this. So oftentimes, can you hold us a minute? You can put that down, right? Soke would say, look, here's how you punch. And he would go, and just walk forward slow with this already extended out. It's already extended out. So he would go, and right when this defense comes in, Soke would change it and do something else. So it doesn't matter what, Soke just like, okay, and he would go, shoo, okay. Whatever he thought it was going to happen, Soke changed that at the last moment. Well, this is happening with the sword too, in that when we're here and he raises up and I shoot it out, if he's doing a cut or something like that, I will adjust to that in that moment, boom, and push through. So do whatever you want as you're coming in. So it goes, boom. See how that looks? So again, the point of this is I need to get a reaction from him. I need to force him. I need to force his hand, so to speak. I need to make him do something. So when I go whoop, he cannot do something, and right after that, I skewer him in the throat, right? Or he does something. So watch, I'll do this again. So it's gonna go whoop, boom. Okay, so what does this mean? This means that I may skewer him. I may stab him. So when you're thinking about coming from here and he goes up and I go whoop, I may get, but I'm not trying to. That will only be if he's super fast and coming forward at me. Then when I do this, he skewers himself. Does that make sense? But if he's more cautious and I'm able to get in there, I need him to be, again, reacting to me. So it's like as if I'm the tennis server. I'm the person serving the tennis ball. That person has a lot more likelihood chance of scoring than the other person because he gets to force the other person to have to return his serve. So if we're both here, your chi no kata movement point is to go whoop, and put it over here. Now he's got to do something, and whatever he does, I adjust to it. Because I'm not just adjust to it, I'm not thinking, well, he went left, so I'll go right. There's no thought. There's just put it in the space, and then you have to be sensitive to pressure. Okay? So when he's here, I'm looking this way, but when he raises his tip up, all I can see is start to raise your tip up, whoop, and I do this. As soon as I feel that, I'm already changed. Does this make sense? As he's adjusting, I'm just adjusting to his pressure. Okay, I don't have to look and see, I'm adjusting. And once you understand how we built our Totoku Hoshi with our defenses and how we move our body, you will have the automatic reflexes to feel their pressure and go with it. This is using this Muto Dori, this deception, this kyojitsu from control in our basic sanshin. So this is our basic sanshin, just going pop, shoo. And so stop me whenever I come out with this, okay, right? So I'm just gonna go, boom, good. So he collapses it. I'm continuing to move forward. And I'm soft and letting myself adjust where I need to. So even as he's trying to do these the other kind of cuts, kind of trying to counter me, don't care. I feel where he has to break. So this is what we're doing. So let's try this now. Be careful if you've got like wood swords or something like that. We want to do this softly. So all we're really doing is, he's the defender, I'm the attacker. I'm the person going to do Chinokata, right? So I'm going boom, and he does say he's doing this right here, which is what I would do on that side. So as soon as I feel this, I just want to feel how to change this direction. Boom. Okay, so let's try this little drill right now with the sword. You're just putting it out there and forcing a reaction from him. If he does nothing, do nothing when I put it out there. If he does nothing, I just go boom, okay? So then he starts to react. So I put it out there and he reacts. Understand? So let's just do something like that. Don't make a technique out of it. I just want you to get the idea of this Muto Dori. So we're actually looking at kind of like, if you think about Muto as in no sword, that's the normal way. But Soke would change the character of To to fight, to no fight. So I'm not fighting, he's doing this and I do that, and this kind of concept. I'm just getting past his sword. Yes, I have a sword too. I'm getting past his sword with my sword. We'll look at something else in just a minute. But for now, remember, this has a point. The point is you're getting on his side, forcing a reaction. This is control. This is the first step of this 6 treasures, okay? So try this one out. Yeah.
So are you saying that there are, just the same as unarmed taijutsu, there are control positions with a sword?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
It's basically melting through with a sword.
It is melting through with the sword. That's right.
Yeah, but you don't necessarily have to use the blade in those control positions. So I'm assuming they would be similar, like a neck control, an armpit control, a scapular control?
No, because you're remember your distance, right? So you're at a farther distance.
Sure.
So if you look at what they're doing right now, the control is kind of at the suba or at the wrist, right? That's where because even if one of them, if Chris bends his arms or one, you guys just do it again, right?
When does it shift from contact to control?
That's a good. So when does it? And it should be soon. So yes. So both of them are trying to get through the contact point, right? We're not trying to stop it. That's an important point, and I will talk about that. That's actually good. Okay, guys, come back here a minute. Let me talk about that. This is the shitty one. So as Gary was just asking questions, I want to remind you of the 4 phases that we've been working on for this integrating Kyojitsu series, which is moving from freedom I'm here, I'm free to do what I want. He's there, he's free to do what he wants. Through contact. So when I do this, there's contact. What happens in the dojo is this is where people stop. And then they try to do ka 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 ka. Okay? The problem is you can't stop at contact. Contact is the rim of his danger zone, so to speak. It's like the edge of his danger zone. Now you've got to move through that. You've got to move through that. You can't stay there. Contact is where you're going to die. It's not the edge of his danger zone. At contact, you're inside the danger zone. So just hold your sword out here, right? So this is his danger zone. This is contact, meaning I'm already inside of it. We're already engaged. Can't stay here. Okay? So what I want to do is, as Dom was just saying, is melt through. I want to go boom, boom. Okay, see what that looks like? So I don't stop at any point. And he will be doing the same thing at the same time. So, I mean, you know, not in a typical Bujinkan dojo he won't, but as people are fighting, they're going to be trying to do stuff to you. So with the sword, as Gary was saying, is like, where are the control points? Because unarmed, taijutsu, standing control points, you know, we have the neck and scapula and the armpit, right? But those don't change for this. But I don't necessarily need that, because I have this. So when I do this and I come through, boom, this is a control point because it's killing him. But also, see how the sword is like underneath here? And I'm making sure that he can't come back at me, right? And then you come through here and boom, and this is, so control points are still like, see how I'm up against him with my body here, and I got my elbow up in here, and my hip is near, so that he can't get that around. Then I can put this in place, right? So again, same thing. I want to be control points. They're still the same control points. Fold of the neck, armpits, these kind of things. Still, but now you have a stick, so you can get to them sooner than just your body. But you want to get your body in there too, because it makes it difficult for him to cut you. Okay? So this is an important concept. You go from freedom through contact to control. And again, control doesn't last very long either, because he's still moving. There's momentum happening here. And then again, from contact to contact to contact, sufficient number of contacts to containment. Okay, eventually you can get him in a containment, hopefully. Right, so that's the 4 phases, and how those 4 phases relate to what we're doing here. I'm free, he's free, I shoot it out there, he does his thing, I change and come here, whoop, and see I'm in control, so I'm still like that, he's over there like that, but it's okay. This is control, this is control, this is control, that's control, okay? So you have to feel where the control is with the sword or the stick or whatever your weapon is, your rope or your knife. It's all very, very similar, just being aware of how can he get his weapon on you in a dangerous way. Okay, so that was a great question, Gare. So go back to what you're doing just a minute so you can lock that in, that what you are doing is putting something in the space. Contact, don't stop at contact. You're moving through, okay? You can do what we just did right there, which is nothing, okay? But you're trying to not stop at contact. You move right through contact. Let's try that again, because that's super important. Is if you stop at contact, you've lost control. So Chris, you can adjust too. You can adjust while he's doing that. Yeah, so see how you stopped? Yeah. That's what I'm saying, you can't stop. So I want Chris to adjust, but I want you to not stop too. In other words, both of you don't go faster, because you get poked in the eye. Boom. Chris is adjusting, right? Yeah, see how it starts to speed up, who's gonna be faster? Yeah. So the trick is, once you make the contact, don't force through that contact. And that's it's a sensitivity because it you know, maybe you should have the idea of right when you make contact, you're changing.
Yeah, but I didn't want to move.
Yeah, you don't want to do that, but just don't go backwards, but don't.
Okay.
But you can go forwards many ways.
Okay, one more please.
But see how you sped up there? So you just did a little bit like this, okay? You went. Don't speed up. Go. Boom. See how I didn't speed up? But what I did was, watch what I did. So I was here, he makes contact. There's a little bit of pressure, and then I went boom. So I just went, I let it off. I let him feel the pressure. You could also do this. I go, ooh. So this is short, right? Short, so it just goes punk right there.
Yeah, but it was backwards movement.
Yeah. Well, but backwards. But watch how it was backwards, right? So it's here. I went. So you could push. You could be strong, right? I went. See how it's still over here, versus.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So I'm not. It can. Yeah. Optimum is it never goes back past vertical, right? But it was just boom, smack, right? Because it's this length.
Just flick.
If it was longer, it would be different. And because my distance would be here, but now my distance is here. So it's more like a knife kind of thing because it's short, right? So just feeling what fits in there.
So control with the sword means the sword is on the opponent?
Control with the sword?
Yeah.
Yeah, almost always. I mean, obviously, you can be controlling from a distance too of what he thinks you might do with the sword. But but that's starting to get away from this first fundamental Chinokata movement, like how you use it, because now we're talking about the kamae, this tosui kamae, or some other kamae, which I want to do in another prep, but on this one I want to get everyone wrapped around this. Okay. All right, guys, come back in a minute. So now without the swords. So the swords are the archetype. I mean, they're the fundamental big thing that we build off of. And actually we use this archetype a lot. But the same idea, if Philip is here and we're going to fight, I want to put something out there, right? So, right? Boom, boom. So maybe it's like, boom, boom. Okay? Now, all of that is just block me or something like that, right? So I go boom. See how I've taken this right here and then I've already moved in. I'm trying to get past this contact point. See, I'm into control point here already. I've got this deep in here. See, I'm affecting him deeply. Okay? So I want to get past the contact point. That's fundamental. So again, it's boom, 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 boom. You've seen this before, right? So getting past this. Right now, without doing any technique stuff or without fighting each other fast, I want you to think about, you're here, okay, Ichimonji, right? And then this is going to shoot out. But this is remember, Chi, you have this leading hand. This lead hand is doing something. It's not, you don't just have it here because you're an idiot, okay? Your lead hand's doing something. So, lead hand goes to boom, boom, and it blocks, and now I'm inside, right? Now we start to move into next position. But what I want you to understand is you have to get past contact. This is this idea of control. So we're here, and it's control. See, I'm already coming in. Okay? So use your kamae that you're leading in. And then I'll talk about something in a minute that you'll start to understand and see. Okay? But do this with your lead hand to set it up, and then this comes through. It can be a grab. You could be throwing Metsubishi or something in your hand, right? Or it's a punch. Okay? It doesn't matter. It's something to get from back here to inside his danger zone. What you need? Are you doing your wukong? Sure?
全然分かったその隣にいるから
All right, well, let's start soon. Yeah, it's good. You don't have to go any further. Let me see what these guys are doing. Okay, so now that you've done this, come on back here a minute. I want you to remember that Sanshin is chi no kata, but we also have the gogyo, chi, sui, ka, fu, ku. So now, if we're in ichimanji, so here, you have your chi, right? But now we're here. So how would ichimanji look? So you know we have, and start to get into kion happo, right? Where you're going back and you're using this forward hand to do something, to block, defend, and then you're using your backhand to counterattack, right? So now think about that, of what we're just doing right now, is that I'm here like this, right? And I smack, boom. See how that looks? So this first hand is the Japanese word we say is osairu. So osaite, and it has a variety of meanings, but one of them is to hold something down, hold someone down. So you osairu a revolution. You know, you suppress a revolution. You hold it, you keep it from happening. A fire, you can suppress a fire. You also have the idea of like checking something. So like he's here like this, and I just check that. So now he can't use that for this moment. So this is also contact, right? Because now this can't come through the space. Then this is my follow-up. So this concept of osairu, or this checking, or controlling, or stopping, or suppressing, and there's many, many ways to do it. So, you know, maybe I go whoop with the fake punch, right? Come around here, and then move it into this space. So I could be boxing style, it's boom. This is the same concept. This gets a reaction. So it goes boom, boom. And you see how we're inside like that. So understanding that these concepts are all the same. They're all the same. But now we're looking at ichimanji, which is something like this, right? And then we have this hand attacking. Now, of course, you don't have to make it exactly, if you understand what they are, you could be, punch me a minute, it could be blocking here, but you're probably not going to do a shuto to the neck. Because remember, the whole idea of a shuto, a sword hand to the neck, is you are practicing cutting with the sword to their neck, not with your hand. That's just put a sword in your hand now, and you understand you deflected theirs and you cut them in the neck. That's the actual application of that sui no kata. If you understand why Soke said you need to understand weapons and armor. Understand weapons and armor, you'll understand the foundation of what we do. So, but right now we're not using weapons and armor. We're just here, and this goes boom, right? So it's just putting it out there in space to control this for a moment, right? So it may be like boom, boom, and into this thing. So many, many follow-ups. So what I want you to do right now is just play with your ichimanji and think about, this goes out there, you put something out there, could be smack down, could be a jab, you know, you could be holding something in your hand and you just throw it at them. So it's like here, follow up. Here, grab, follow up. Here, a kick follow up, really, you could have, but for now, we're just using our hands, because I want you to understand these 6 treasures, how that they fit together for all the martial arts stuff that we do. Because people practice their sanshin. And they practice. And then they have zero use of that in their actual taijutsu training. So when we're doing stuff, when someone's attacking you, it's like, that doesn't fit anywhere, you know. Where's all that fitting in your taijutsu training? No, you're never doing these things. So we need to understand, what is the inner essence? What is the gokui, the deep secrets of these things? How do they make us use them all the time for everything we do, for all martial arts, and really into the rest of our lives? That is the point of these gogyo. That is the point of the sanshin. And remember, it has to be done in a way that has the Muto Dori so that you can control. Okay, so go back to this drill. You're an ichimonji, could be boxer style ichimonji, but you're an ichimonji, and this does something, and then this does something next. Okay, give that a shot. Remember, you're working to get from freedom through contact into control.
I'm starting with tackle.
You can defend. Don't make it too, let's not get right into the full-on fight yet, but just defend, move freely. Don't go too fast. Don't try to fuck them up. Yeah. So as soon as you feel something, you maybe just defend, but don't go crazy, right? Yes, yeah. Yes, that's good. Good. Okay, so let me talk about something here for a minute, because this is important, so that we can really connect this together well. If I'm here, so when we did chi, you realize chi is a straight thrust, right? Chi is the thing shoots out. It's a stab. It's straight thrusting out there. And then if you've done sui no kata, this comes through. Because remember, it's like a blade. You want to slice with the blade. So you can stab with the blade, but also we're slicing with the blade. And just hold your arm up like this a minute, right? Other arm. So when you're slicing, the Japanese sword, the way we're using it, it's not an axe. So we're not actually going like chop. What we're doing is we're going shoo through, which you start to understand how we use our totoku. Okay, so like I was watching you, Dom, and you were thinking about this coming through. That is the sui no kata movement. It's also totoku movement, right? It's also totoku, in that your elbow is down, so you've blocked, you come through here. If you train with Noguchi Sensei and you see how he teaches to do this, he's like, you can come in like this so that you're behind it, totoku, and you can do omote or ua shuto. So inside or outside shuto. Shito. Okay? It doesn't matter. And he can't read it, so like if you punch him in a minute, right? So he goes, whoop. So he's here, this goes bop, right? And of course, we're not going to shuto in the neck. That's not, it's in an unarmed fighting thing, that's not super effective. If he's just standing there and I can hit him really hard in the neck with my shuto, yes, I'll knock him out. But if he's resisting me, it's hard to hit someone in the neck with the shuto, just so you know. We all probably already know that. So when we're looking at this ichimonji, it's a bent arm. Chi is the straight arm. It's whoom, right in there. Mix it up. So even though you're an ichimonji, do you have to do a bent arm thing? No. From here, can you throw a straight right cross? Yes, you can. Okay? So you got your jab, which is this hand out here, and a straight right cross. Can you also throw a jab and then come in with your arm bent and hook him out of the way, totoku him out of the way? Yes, you can do both. So now we're starting to look at, if you only practice, it must be a straight move, it must be a bent move, you won't have any kyojitsu. You won't have any control. So as you're doing this, just keep in mind, it's okay to be here and straight. It's okay to be here and smash down. It's okay to be here and uppercut. It's okay to be here and hook, and it's okay to be here and coming through with your totoku shape. So you're trying to get through that contact point. Remember where the contact point is. If this dude has a sword, where'd the swords go? And he's wearing it in his scabbard. Remember what Muto Dori is I want to stop him from drawing the sword. So I go, whoop. That's what I want to do. May not happen, but that's what you want. Because once he gets the sword out and you don't have a sword, the odds are heavily in his favor of damaging you. Does that make sense? So when you go to Gyokodo or Togakure-do's Muto Dori techniques, you're going to see this a lot. Then, disarming them or whatever. But you're going to see them trying to stop that first, rather than draw your sword and then trying to be like, of course we have that, and we have the cut down part, right? But your first option is stop it when it's in the scabbard, which means you are proactively moving forward. You are not going, you are going, nah, got to stop that thing, okay? That's just like your baby's about to step off into the street. You don't go, gonna catch you. You're like, whoa, and you throw yourself out there to grab a hold. This is the idea. You want to get through that space and stop that thing before it can get out and do damage, okay? So try this again. The same idea, no weapons. We're coming through here. Guard, could be straight, could be hooking, and it could be bent as you come in, just like you're doing a shuto. You can try to do shuto, don't care. Okay, so play with that for a minute. Who's doing it? Don't let him know when you're doing it. No. So you're too far away. So just be like you're like here. Understand? Like a snake. Like don't let him know when you're about to shoot out. Then you can't be standing still. So So guys, come watch this a minute. I want to see, because this is actually an important thing. While you're doing this and you're trying to think, okay, what is the technique Rob is having us do, or whoever your sensei is having you do, right? But right now for this, Muto Dori means your opponent shouldn't be able to read you. We're trying to make it so your opponent can't read you. Can you do it and just stand there? Do it the way you were just doing. So if he's just standing here like this, that's very, very easy to read, because he's immobile and then he's going from complete stillness to movement. So he has to telegraph his movement. So if he's moving a little bit, so back up a little bit, now come towards him, and so there's a little bit of movement. Now don't do the same thing. Try and trick him. Just trick him, but fast. Yeah, see, so that time he just threw it out, and it didn't even make contact with the left hand, came in with the right. So he's starting now to try and not just grab his hand when he puts it out there. He's going to grab your hand, so you don't let him. Yeah, good. So he can go slow and use him, that he's going to catch your hand. So use that against him, right? Sooner. The moment he touches your hand, change it. Good. Now, don't pull it back. Leave it in there and do some teodoki or some shit. Good, good, good. So you see where he's trying to get to right here? That's what we want. So let me just do one like this, okay? So if we go here and he grabs, see the moment of grab? So I could be like this. I could be like, so he didn't get it. So he's like, oh, okay. Then I go, and he caught it. And then boom, now we're on the next thing. So you got to play with this. So you're like, then you go, stop, boom. See what that looks like? So we do this in Hombu a lot. In Nagato's class, the Hambo, you're like, here, you let him catch the Hambo, this kind of idea. So same thing here is you're like, whoop, he doesn't get it. So then you go like that. See how he grabs it? So you put it out there just long enough to think, I better stop that thing, right? So you're like, ooh, and then no, trick, okay? And in that moment, this is where Soke was so awesome, is he'd be like, go ahead and grab mine, and it'd be like this. And he'd have that one finger control, and he's like, see, then you just do Gansei Ganagi or whatever. Okay? So play with this. Again, this is where the rubber meets the road. This is the deception. This is really using this chi movement and a little bit of sui now, right? From the Gogyo to, I'm playing with this. What do I let him get? What do I don't let him get? What do I let him have and then use it against him? This kind of thing, all right? So play with this concept now for a minute. That's good, Chris, thanks.
Okay.
So Rob, you're essentially putting something into the space to make him be forced to deal with that.
Yes, that is correct. Putting something in the space that he's forced to deal with.
Gotcha.
And that's why you gotta, if it's not actually a threat, like if it's too far out and he recognizes that won't work. It needs to be an actual threat so that he has to deal with it. Good, Chris, do that again. You understand the difference?
Yeah.
Okay. Right there, you've got to change from, he's targeting you out here. He's targeting you right there. You got to move there. Sorry about that, but I just had to get you through that. Good thing you got two eyes. Yeah.
It's different.
That's good. Sorry about that, but I need you to move through that space. Yeah. Yes. Then you can be strong, soft.
Yeah.
Right? Soft, like that. Or soft, strong, whichever. That's all good, dude. Also, remember yesterday's sparring. You can turn a little bit, right? So you can be like, say you come in like this, so you're giving your back to come in with your power, right? Protect your face a little bit. Yeah. Good. Let me see how these guys are doing over here. Okay, everyone's looking pretty good. Okay, good. So I'm watching around there, and some you guys are getting the idea. So remember that the whole, one of the main points is not to do this. If he's got, where'd the swords go? So just put it in your thing, right? One of the main things not to do is this, is to go and stop at contact distance. That is the worst. That's the death. That's you lose. You'll lose every time. It's what everyone does. It's what everybody does. If you go to any class in Hombu, every teacher will stop at contact distance because they're teaching. But when you're practicing, You can't do that. You have to get through there. So when he's here and I come in, it's boom, and then I'm on to the next piece, okay? You can't stop at contact. You can't even be like, I did it. Right? So it's like, I got too late. Understand? You have to move through that. So without that, same thing with the punch, you can't be like, I'm here, and I go, no, I'm gonna do it to you. I'm gonna come in and you do things, right? So I can't be like, oh, good. Now we stop here. I see it all the time. It's a momentary stop. You're looking to see what you can do next. This is the habit we have to erase. You have to get through. It's chi. It's chi. It's boom. Sorry about that, but it's that. It's just boom. It's in there. It's spear thrusting. It's a spiritual, psychological, emotional, and physical thing. You're boom through that defense. You are stopping your opponent before he can launch an attack at you. Okay? So when I bring my body through here, so when I go boom, I want to be in like that. Whatever he's doing. And this is the practice of how we move like this, right? So this is the end of this first prep session. Really, really important that we lay the groundwork for this. It is control through Muto Dori, which is deception, that is embedded in your sanshin. Your sanshin has to have deception. Through the practice of sanshin, we get into, and of course we're practicing Muto Dori with our sanshin right now, right? And then once we get to this, the next step would be we're into that control position. Then we can start to apply our Kion Happo. And how we do our Kion Happo has to involve deception as well, and be done in such a way that women can do it against big, strong, powerful men. Or one dude can put control on 2 or 3 other people. So it's just, if you have overwhelming force, you still have to be able to control. That's the concept of women's self-defense. And then we're going to do what we do. We're all going to get together in our community, and we're going to network, and we're going to test each other, and we're going to help each other get better at this. That's the 6th and final treasure of this 6 treasures of the Bujinkan. Okay? Are there any questions that you guys have? You can unmute yourself and talk right now.
Hey, Rob, what
Yes.
I see is we've been doing this, except we're not coming in with offensive weapons before. Now we're kind of doing that. We were just coming in like this. Now we're like, hey, we get to play a little bit as we do the same stuff.
Yeah.
Building in.
That's right.
Putting in, yeah.
So before I reverse engineered everything, and I flipped the script around. So I made Uke's role, who was always the attacker. I made Tori the attacker, so that we start to understand you're moving in. But now we're putting it back into, you have an attacker and defender. Now it's who's really the first, who's going to be first, who's the attacker, who's the defender. It's Kyojitsu. It's truth or falsehood. It's, I don't know. Which one's the attacker, which one's the defender? There is no attacker and defender. But there is a controller and a controllee. And that's what we want to look at. So now we're starting to, again, this is integrating Kyojitsu number 7. So we're starting to get into, so now we've been directly taking control. But now you start to see it, from a fundamental old school Bujinkan approach. Fundamental old school Bujinkan approach. But understanding what Chi, Suikafu, Ku actually is, and how that applies to this 6 treasures of the Bujinkan. Okay? Anybody else? Nope, that's it. Good. All right, I'll see you guys in 2 weeks. Same bat time, same bat channel.
Thanks, Rob.
Take care.
Thank you.
Right on. Thanks, Rob.